Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay. From the moment that we met, you were worth the wait. Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know. Best thing that I'll ever know.
Hello. Sorry, let me get my footstool right in the right spot. It keeps sliding. I keep saying I'm going to build me a new desk. I keep not doing it. I don't know why. I just don't. But I'm going to. Okay. So, first things first. Where's it at? Alrighty, here's our fair use disclaimer. Hold on. My eyelashes are itching. Feel like they're sticking together for some reason. Okay, so here's the fair use disclaimer. I don't know why. Oh, wow. Hey, now maybe you can see it. Okay, I was wondering what that little slide bar was for. All right, so we have the fair use disclaimer. All right, there we go. I haven't yawned all day. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't have my sage going. Get back on there. Hello to the people in here in chat. Please hit that thumbs up while you're here. We're just lighting our sage to get ready for the show. Can't have enough sage these days. All right, there we go. Now we're set. Okay. So, right in my face. Go that way. So, you see my shirt? Don't mess with this chick. My son got it for me for Christmas. Or not for Christmas, for Mother's Day. So, I thought I might as well wear it at least once. Okay. On with the seriousness, okay? Let's be real here. Now, the title of our today's live is Families Went Lost, Changed for Motorists, 4 family stories. Let's get into the first one. Okay. Sisters call for change in law after fatal crash. This is BBC News East of England, and it was posted 10 hours ago, and it's like a 3-minute read, but it's going to be a little longer than that because I read slower than that. Okay, it says Kylie, Leanne, Katie, Carol-Ann, Angela have set up a campaign called Justice for Bobby. One of these is their mother. I'm presuming. And the the family of a moped rider who died in a collision are calling for a driver's license to be revoked from anyone when they are arrested. I'm sorry, that noise in the background is my ice maker. My daughter turned me on to this ice maker on Temu, and you just set it on the counter, put water in it, and it automatically makes ice. And if the ice melts, then the water goes back down in the bottom and it remakes the ice. And it's so cool. And the ice cubes look like little tubes. See? Whoops, where you are. Look like little tubes, but they have domes on them. Stick my hand in sticky water. It's flavored water that I got from Dillon's, Kroger, whatever. Um, so, anyway, a family of moped rider who died in a collision are calling for driver's license to be revoked for anyone when they are arrested on suspicion of serious motoring offenses. Bobby Smith, 29, from Marquette, Hertfordshire, died on the A5183 on the outskirts of Dunstable, Bedfordshire, about 5:40 Greenwich Mountain Time on March 3rd. I guess the GMT is Greenwich. I don't know what it is over there east of England. A man in his 40s was arrested at the scene and has since been released on police bail pending further investigations. Mr. Smith's 5 sisters had started a petition for a law to change and told the BBC something needs to change. The family want police to have the power to remove the driver's license of anyone under investigation until any criminal proceedings have concluded. The sisters have been warned by police that it could be 2 years before any case reaches court. They said their petition had been started and Mr. Smith's honor. Eldest sister Kylie Fury, 35, said, knowing that Bobby's life has stopped, but that person's life is continuing, however long it takes to come to court, they are still able to drive a car. We want driving license to be suspended or revoked when someone is seriously injured or killed in a motor accident, or if you fail one or all of the toxicology roadside tests and then go to the police station and you fail them as well. His sister Leanne Westlake, 33, said the family was grateful for the support their petition had received. We got this picture on our vans. People come up and talk to us about Bobby and tell us their stories. We're not the first family to go through this, and we won't be the last, she said. Something needs to change. Floral tribute and outpouring of mention followed by Mr. Smith's unaliving. Miss Westlake described her younger brother as the funniest person you've ever met. He would be the one who would pick you up on your bad days. Whenever we would have an argument, he would always be the peacekeeper. He wanted us to be happy, he said. Younger sister Carol Ann Smith, 20, had a close bond with her brother. We used to hang out together all the time. He was the light. He made everyone laugh. It's not the same at home without him, she said. Mr. Smith had just been promoted to team leader at courier firm 4XP in Dunstable and loved his job, regularly working 6 shifts a week. He was supposed to be on leave that week, said Carol Ann, but he got a call from his manager on Sunday, and being Bobby, he agreed to go into work that morning. We all told him not to go. Mr. Smith was working toward passing his driving test and had a theory test booked for 2 days after his death, his family revealed. Sister Kylie Fury, 35, added, he had so much to do. He got his passport at the start of this year because he wanted to go abroad for the first time. His life was work, his dogs, and family, in that order, the family had said. This was Bobby Smith. His family said he lived for life, his work, and his dogs. The BBC approached the Department for Transportation for comment, and I'm presuming they didn't get anything in return because there's no further to the story. And then to go to the next page, I'm just going to go down to this one because it's pretty much the same story, but this is the rest of okay, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Let me turn some music on in the background. Have to have background music. Oh, down here. I can barely hear it. All right, there we go. Now, let me pull this up. I need my moderator here. Okay. She always reminds me when I forget to share screen.
He worked for 4PX in Dunstable. He was recently promoted to team leader. So he was doing well at that, and he was excelling in his work. He was just working himself up the ladder.
He was very respected at work. The workplace, as of right now, people have left. It's not 4PX anymore. Bobby was that job. Nothing's the same without Bobby now, at home, at work, everywhere really. It's tainted everything. The loss of Bobby has impacted this family beyond words.
And was he on his way to work that morning then?
Yeah, so he left home early in the morning. It was before 6. And he was driving to work along the A5.
On his moped?
On his moped, yeah, and he's driving down, and then that's when it happened.
Bobby was driving into Dunstable. This car was driving from Dunstable heading towards the M1.
So it sounds like they were doing this. He was going in and he was coming out. Severe weather alert issued for Butler County. The National Weather Service in Wichita has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeast Kansas. We have blue skies, the sun shining. It must be going rolling quick. Okay.
He had so much to do. He was so young.
He had plans for this year. He got his passport at the beginning of the year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he wanted to go abroad for the first time. So he was making plans for this year. And that's all been stolen from him.
Tell me, Kylie, what are you calling for? What change do you want?
We want driving licenses to be suspended or revoked when someone is seriously injured or killed in a motor accident, or if you fail one or all of the toxicology roadside test, and then you go to the police station, you fail them as well. I do believe that should be revoked or suspended.
So what they're saying is if you're caught driving under the influence and you have, hey, I'm glad you're here. If you're caught driving under the influence and you have an accident and somebody is injured or unalived, and you fail the sobriety tests or whatever for being under the influence of any substance, they want your license to be able to be suspended or revoked until the trial, and then the judge can decide if you can have your license back.
Suspended. Change needs to happen, and I know that we're not going to get the change for Bobby, but in Bobby's name, I hope that we do. Knowing that Bobby's life has stopped, but that person's life is continuing, they are still able to wake up in the morning, able to make plans for the next 2 years, however long it takes to come to court. They are still able to drive a car. There is no safeguarding in place for other pedestrians or other road users. So
see what they're saying. Amanda, look. See my shirt? CJ got it for me for Mother's Day. Oh, okay, anyway. What they're saying is they don't think it's fair that this person who unalived Bobby gets to drive, gets to live his normal life, thank you, for the next 2 years until this trial goes to court and he's sentenced with whatever he's sentenced with. They don't think that's right because during that 2 years, they have a chance to still be under the influence. They have a chance to still drive. They have the possibility of harming somebody else. I can understand their point of view.
I think for the sake of the family of the loved one that has been taken, and for the sake of safeguarding the public, something needs to change.
Obviously, the law in this country is that people are innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, I think that if there's sufficient evidence of the driver causing the accident due to dangerous behaviour, I do think that their licence should be revoked on the spot.
We've created a page called Justice for Bobby, which has his petition on, and where people are sharing memories of Bobby. They're speaking about their experience on that road and how they're still fighting for justice and how they want things to change as well. So it's not just Bobby Bobby's helping a lot of people.
What's being asked from the petition is valid, and we're not the only ones. There is many families out there. We're not but the first, we're never going to be the last until things change.
So it sounds like that's a dangerous intersection where this accident happened. I'm sorry for the family. Trigger warning on the next one. I mean, they're all trigger warnings when you consider somebody being unalived. That's just uncalled for. So, but the next one would really touch you because of this. Parents of toddler unalived by elderly driver call for license law change. Now, before we go into it, I'm going to let you know the child was in a safe spot, what would normally be a safe spot when this happened. Okay? It's not like the child was out in the middle of the road or anything. Okay. This is Xander Irvin. She passed away after being hit by a car driven by a 91-year-old woman. She is so beautiful. Look at those dark, dark eyes. Oh my gosh. The parents of the toddler unalived after a car driven by a 91-year-old woman mounted the curb in Edinburgh because the car went over the curb. In Edinburgh, want more elderly motorists to be forced to give up their license. The 3-year-old Xander Urban passed away in June of 2020 when a Kia driven by Edith Duncan veered off of Morningdale Road and hit him and his mother. Xander's parents, Paul and Victoria, called for a change in the law at a fatal accident injury, FAI, into the incident, which would mean unfit drivers are forced to quit the road. The investigation into the crash had previously heard Mrs. Duncan, who passed away before she could face trial, may have been suffering from Alzheimer's disease at the time. Okay, if the driver has Alzheimer's, they shouldn't have a license. I'm sorry. Because with Alzheimer's, especially in beginning stages of Alzheimer's, they have good days where they know what's going on, but at a moment's notice, it can switch and they not know. And it said, elderly driver so sorry for crash that unalived toddler. Toddler unaliving inquiry, elderly drivers should have to pass new test. In a statement read to the FAI at Edinburgh Sheriff Court by Advocate Depute, if they have Alzheimer's, how do they know if they don't have a license? You mean, how do the people that issue the driver's license know if they have Alzheimer's? I think after a certain age, maybe they're wanting some kind of a report from a doctor before you can get a driver's license. The doctor stating that you're fit to drive. That's what sounds logical to me. No, if I have Alzheimer's, how do I know that I don't? You're right. That's a good point. That's a good point. If the 91-year-old person has Alzheimer's, because they've always had a license all their life, and now all of a sudden they don't have it. They don't remember that they don't have it. They've always been able to drive. You've got a good point there. You do have a good point. In a statement read to FAI Edinburgh Sheriff County by the Advocate Depute, Mr. and Mrs. Irvine said they had heard of several older drivers surrendering their license in the wake of the accident, but they told the hearing did not go far enough and urged the introduction of strict legislation to ensure those behind the wheel are not suffering from any cognitive impairment. Xander meant everything to his parents. In a fleeting lapse of cognition, judgment, and consideration, he was taken from his family and their lives became unrecognizable, as it said. Xander's parents know what many elderly or medically vulnerable drivers touched by Xander's story have already surrendered their driver's license or been urged to do so by friends or relatives. They do not doubt that accidents, injuries, and lives have been saved in the 4 years since Xander was unalive, but they feel this does not go far enough. Xander's parents do not want this to happen to anyone else and to live with the pain that they will carry forever. It added, we hope that in his memory, some things will change. No illegal age to stop driving. The Department of Transportation already has an ongoing review in the licensing of any driver with a medical condition. There is no legal age to stop driving in the UK, and Mrs. Duncan had renewed their driver's license earlier in the year. Drivers over the age of 70 must apply for a new license every 3 years and must be declared to the DVLA if they feel they have any cognitive impairment. Drivers found to have violated this rule can be fined up to £1,000 and could face prosecution. Now, in American money, that's only like $25. But there we go. Or wait, that's African money. I don't know what it is in pounds. Okay, I'm sorry. She had also been parked illegally on a pelican crossing prior to performing the U-turn maneuver, which led to the crash. In a police interview previously played to the inquiry, she told officers her foot must have slipped on the accelerator before she struck Xander and his mother and crashed into the window of a charity shop. Mrs. Duncan said she was so sorry after the crash. She was charged with causing death by dangerous driving and driving without insurance, but died in May of 2021, months before she was due to stand trial. The inquiry heard Mrs. Duncan had an earlier accident when she reversed into another vehicle in a supermarket car park in September of 2019. That incident was never disclosed to her GP. I guess that's her general practitioner. Experts believe Mrs. Duncan, who had no family, may have exhibited signs of Alzheimer's disease since May of 2019. Forensic psychologists who assessed her in April 2021 said she had been articulate and sharp, but performed poorly in cognitive testing. Wild blonde curls and ready smile. Hundreds of people lined up the streets in Morningside when Xander's funeral cortege passed in July 2020. Mr. and Miss Irving thanked the community for their support and said he would be fondly remembered. They said when Xander died, his family were comforted by the outpouring of love and support from the community in Morningside and beyond. Xander is fondly remembered by so many people in the 3 short years, 2 months, and 8 days that he lived. He cut quite the figure in his local community and was known and recognized by many. The little boy with the wild blonde curls and ready smile, this is how he will be remembered. Sheriff Principal Nigel Ross is due to deliver his findings from the inquiry in October. Elderly driver canceled insurance before toddler died in crash. The 91-year-old canceled her car insurance weeks before mounting the curb and killed the toddler in Edinburgh. An inquiry heard. Okay, she did it. I read this because most of it's a repeat of what I just read. But she did it because she didn't drive her car often enough that she didn't feel like she needed insurance. And I know in the United States, I believe there's a cutoff age for renewing your driver's license. I don't know what it is. I think it's around 80 years old, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But then again, I see people in Walmart that have driven to Walmart that look like they're possibly 95 to 98 years old. I seen a lady at Kroger today that, what?
Okay.
Yes.
I wonder if it frees your logo standing here.
I saw you walk up. I'm sitting here looking at the.
Okay. Don't hurt me.
Why would I do that?
I don't know.
Anybody want a 17-year-old? He'll be 18 in a couple months.
ugly.
You're right. I wouldn't want to anyway. You mean too much to me. Okay. So,
You don't make that cake?
hey, H. Davis. How are you doing? Manda Panda, H. Davis now has 70 medals under his belt. He won his track meet the other day. Yay! So, you're okay, you guessed. When's your next track meet? It's time to get started working for that. Okay, so the next one, we're going to Manchester, England in June. Okay. What happened? There it goes. Okay. I thought my screen was messing up for me. Okay, this is from ITVX News in Manchester, England. Manchester, who lost son in e-scooter accidents, calls for tighter laws to save lives. Now, this lady's calling for a law change because of something that happened to her own son because of those moped e-scooters or e-bikes, whatever they are called. Let's listen to this.
Jacob was very funny, very quick-witted, very cheeky chappy, but he was an amazing boy.
It's a film designed to lay bare the dangers of e-scooters in the hope of saving lives.
It is a hard watch. It was the most painfulest thing I've ever had to do.
It's on.
But the impact that it's
It's
had
playing.
has made it worth it.
Is it not loud enough?
The film shows Jacob's last movements, leaving the house just before getting on the back of a friend's e-scooter. 18 minutes later, the exact time it takes to watch the film, he was lying on the road after a collision with a car.
He was already in the back of the ambulance when I got there. It was breathtaking. It was a scene I've never seen before.
The film shows the text messages she sent Jacob over the following days. He was in intensive care in the hope he'd read them when he recovered.
I had a feeling there was something wrong. I've come down to see you and you're spiking all your numbers, buddy. You're so poorly and it's so scary. They're doing everything they can for you, mate. Come on, buddy. Mum can't lose you. Bring those numbers down for me, please. I love you.
He never got to read them. He never got to read them. Sorry. It's hard.
Jacob died in hospital 8 days later, but his family want to tell his story to stop others making the same mistake.
The split second Jacob made has changed his life, my life, everybody's life around me. And I just needed it for them to be able to understand.
Since 2019, there have been 49 deaths involving e-scooters. At the moment, it's illegal to ride a privately owned e-scooter in a public place. But Carly wants the law to go further. In an e-petition, she's calling on the government to ban the sale of e-scooters to anyone under the age of 18. She wants the introduction of an e-scooter licence scheme and make it mandatory for users to wear a helmet, have insurance, and prohibit them carrying passengers.
What would it mean to you if you were able to change the law?
It'd mean the world. It'd mean the world because then it's all been worth it. And if I can stop one more and then one more life, how powerful
Wow, I thought she was talking about an e-bike. I thought, you know, those bicycles that you kind of pedal and then it takes off as a electric bike or something. I thought that's what she was talking about. Of course, in England, they call things different than they call things here. But that's actually what we had e-scooters here, electric scooters. And she's wanting the lost change. Marley 13, hello. Been listening in the bushes, cleaning up supper dishes and getting the little stuff. I can understand that. CJ wanted Subway sandwiches for supper tonight. So I just went to the grocery store because I need to pick up a prescription anyway. And I was at Kroger and I just got all the stuff and we come home. I come home and we made our own sandwiches and we could have exactly the way we wanted, the right amount of. He ended up eating a bologna and cheese sandwich. If he'd have said he wanted a bologna and cheese sandwich, I'd have got bologna and cheese. But I got all the stuff to make him. But I enjoyed my sandwich. And plus, he can have 3 more sandwiches if he wants because there's more lunch meat and stuff in there. So for the price of buying one restaurant-made sandwich, I bought the stuff and he can have 4 of them. So, or 6 of them or whatever. So that's the way I work. He wanted a meatball, so I guess he must have. So anyway, the boss. Yeah, he thinks he is.
How awful is that?
What's it like being back here at the scene?
Painful. Very painful, the fact that knowing this where it was. Why did you get on that scooter when I told you not to? We wouldn't be stood here, Jacob, if you didn't do that. And this is what I'm trying to tell the other children, like.
Ooh, Sloppy Joe's mashed potatoes and green beans. That sounds really good.
Jacob didn't think he was going to be in this situation, and you could be putting yourself in the same situation by getting on that scooter. Like, just don't.
It's a powerful message. This grieving mum hopes everyone will heed. Mel Barham, ITV News, Wythenshawe.
So, I can understand her point. She learned a lesson from what her child did. So she wants it to make it so that other parents don't have to go through the same thing she went through of losing their child because they're too young to drive an e-scooter. The e-scooter shouldn't have been out on the road, and he should have had a helmet. Now, I don't know about the getting insurance for a scooter. I mean, that's just a little far-fetched there, but, you know, this is England we're talking about. Insurance might not be expensive as it is in the America. All right, the next one, we're going to, I think, we're still over in the BBC somewhere. This says, Rutland mum calls for new driving law after son's passing away. BBC East Midlands today. He is a cute little guy. He looks like his mama, though. He sure does. Mother whose son was unalived in a high-speed crash. I heard about this one on the news. Is calling for a tougher laws for young drivers. Gillian Dickinson's son, Jake Hankins, 17, was the passenger in a car traveling at more than 120 miles on the A612 Nottinghamshire in September 2022. A 19-year-old driver of a car lost control and hit an oncoming vehicle. Mrs. Dickinson from Rutland wants the government to introduce graduated licenses which include restrictions for newly qualified drivers. See, that's what we have here in America. And it wasn't that way when I was a kid. When I got my driver's license, of course, I didn't get mine till I was 19 because my dad said you had to have a C average or better to get a driver's license, and I didn't have a C average. So anyway, but when I was 19, I said, hey, I've been married 2 years. I'm getting my driver's license. Okay, so that's what happened. My dad didn't get married. But anyway, so when I got my license, if I'd have got it at 16, I'd have been on a restricted license for 6 months. And then on a restricted license, I could drive to and from school or on job-related errands. Well, when I was 19 and got my driver's license, I just automatically went to being a driver. But at 16, after 6 months, I would have been able to drive anywhere, anytime without anybody in the car. And it sounds like that's the way it is over there. And she wants it to graduate because my son got his license when he was 16, and he had a permit until he was 17. And then we went and got him a restricted, and from 17 to 18, he has to drive only to and from school or on job-related errands, or he has to have a licensed driver over the age of 18 who is related to him in the passenger seat. Like if he wanted to go from here to the Goodwill in Andover, I would have to go with him. He couldn't go by himself. But if he wanted to go from here to work, I wouldn't have to be with him. So, but when he turns 18 in 6 weeks, we'll have to go get him another license, and then he'll be able to go anywhere he wants without anybody with him, any time of day or not. And I think that's what she's talking about. Jake from Keaton was a passenger in the back of the car when the incident happened. He was pronounced unalive at the scene of the crash in Donaldson, along with the driver, Harvey Holhouse, who was from Woodborough, Nottinghamshire. Another passenger and the driver of the other car suffered serious injuries. Mrs. Dickinson said Jake had been looking forward to taking his driving test and had bought his first car the day before he passed away. She said, I've lost Jake. There's no way of explaining. Yes, I think the new way is better with the intermittent permit and license. I agree with you, Marley 13. I agree. It's a pain in the butt for parents to have to take their kid back to get the license renewed and all that stuff. But you know what? If it's going to save a life, it's worth doing. You know, it's not that hard to drive 20 miles to the next town where the license bureau is, because you have to make an appointment. So if you know what time you got to be there, then you make an appointment, you go 20 minutes before your appointment, you're there, you get there, you get in, you get it taken care of, he gets a picture taken, gets a new license that says that he can't buy alcohol or cigarettes until he's 21 because he's under 21. You know, his license is up and down instead of sideways like ours is. All is good in the factory, you know? And also it gives, I'm such a helicopter parent that I worry about him driving. And he'll pick up my keys and say, can I take the car? I'm like, no, I need it. You know, it's so hard for me to just say, yeah, take it. I'm not going to use it tonight. But he wants his own car. He's been saving. She said, I've lost Jake. There's no way of explaining to anyone who's not in those circumstances how much it affects you and breaks your heart. He is such a handsome young man. Mrs. Dickinson is now calling for the government to tighten legislation around new drivers to help cut down the number of deaths on the road. Okay, over in England, is that where that road is that there's no speed limit on? I don't know. I think my cat's coming in. She said there's a remedy They're statistics. Yes, I don't get it. At 18, they can join the military, but at 21 for everything else, it should all be 21. Yeah, I think the reason they can still join the military at 18 is because in case we go to war. We haven't been to war in so long. I mean, yeah, the Autobahn. Is that in Germany? I don't know. I don't know. Go over there and find out. See you tomorrow when you get back. Mrs. Dickens had joined about 70 other bereaved families who are campaigning for the graduated driving license to be made law. We need to get our voices together and get somebody to listen, she said. Amsterdam. Oh, okay. She said, we need to change the law. Lambour MP Kim Ledbetter introduced a new law proposing graduating driver's license in Parliament on Tuesday. Yay! Under the proposed legislation, newly qualified drivers would face certain restrictions for the first 6 months after passing driving tests, including a zero alcohol limit. Well, that should be at any age, shouldn't it? Zero alcohol? I guess things are different over there. Mrs. Ledbetter introduced her motor vehicle driving license new driver's bill under the so-called 10-minute rule. Her bill will receive its second reading on the 17th of May. That was 2 days ago. The latest UK government figures from 2022. Oh, can they? Okay. The latest UK government figures from 2022 suggest a fifth of all fatal serious injury crashes involve a younger driver. Young male drivers aged 17 to 24 are 4 times as likely to be unalived or seriously injured compared with all car drivers aged 25 and over. Well, they say that about Americans too. So, yeah. So we have 4 families in 4 different locations, all outside of the United States, that want laws changed because they've lost their son. They've lost their son. I didn't find anywhere girls had passed away. I'm sorry. Not that I wanted to, but I just didn't. So it's sad that it has to come to this, but you know what? If you think about it, and this is a very shoddy comparison, but the reason that there's a sign on a traffic light that says no left turn on red is because somebody made a left turn on red when they shouldn't have, and there was an accident. The reason that there's cross and don't cross is because somebody crossed against the light and there was an accident. The reason there's something let me see. There's a warning right here. It says keep away from children. Why does this say keep away from children? Because somebody let their children have it and there was an accident. No, the reason there's a sign is because you could turn right on red. Yes, you can turn right on red. You can always turn right on red. I can take you to El Dorado, and there is a traffic light outside of the Walmart on Central Avenue. They have a sign there that says no left turn on red. Left turn, where you're crossing traffic. You shouldn't be able to cross traffic on a red light anyway. No left turn on red. I can understand the no right turn on red because they said by 2025 we would be driving flying cars instead of our Subway sandwich wrappers. Say, do not eat this. You're right. You're right. Our Subway sandwich wrappers say, do not eat this wrapper. You're right. So, yeah. But, I mean, if somebody didn't make a mistake, like when you go to the restroom at a restaurant, or if you stop at a convenience store or something when you're traveling because you need to take a pit stop, there's signs in the restroom that says do not flush anything besides toilet paper. Well, why would somebody flush anything besides toilet paper? Everything else is supposed to go in the trash. And if you wash your hands, you can use the paper towel. There's a way. Don't go back to the toilet because you have to use the paper towel to open the door, and then you put it in the receptacle. It's silly. The reason we have signs these days. I feel like Jeff Foxworthy. Is it Jeff Foxworthy or is it the other one? Bill Engvall. Here's your sign. Okay, we got team view opening. I know, man, it's been sitting here looking over my shoulder for the last hour saying, when you gonna open them? When you gonna open them? There's your sign. Okay, first one's a small package. I already opened the packages so it'd be easier and you didn't have to watch me cut the package. This is a shirt I got for Father's Day. 5447. I identify as an American. There we go. I think he's going to like that. My husband is very patriotic. He did time in the military. He's a serviceman. Thank you to everybody who has served in the military. This one, I cut the edge of it. Oh, I should say. This says important. View instruction, quick start drive, and connection video before connecting your soundbar. Oh, this is the front. Please open it here. Thought it was going to say 8647. Oh, no. So this is a new soundbar for my TV in my living room. Hopefully I can get it to work. The last one I bought was Bluetooth, and my TV don't have Bluetooth capability. So this is a soundbar. This is the back. Please open it from the front. See, we were just talking about signs. Here's your sign. So anyway, this is a new soundbar for my TV because my husband always turns it up to 90 and we can hear it all over and we can't hear anything else in the house. So hopefully that'll work. So that was today's team new packages. So, oh no, we can't 8647. I can't believe somebody would actually put that in rocks in a sand. I guess it was on a beach. I don't know where it was. But who are they leaving the note for? Who are they leaving the message for? Anywho, so I thank y'all for being here. Whoa, I don't even vape nicotine, and that one made me dizzy. So thank y'all for being here. do something nice for someone, even if it's be the reason they smile today, and get Locker. Good night.